Okay, so what is gala attire? It's not every day you get to go to a gala, so if you find yourself with an invitation to such a coveted affair, you may be wondering what to wear. Fret not, that's where we come in. So a typical gala is a formal attire often held to support a worthy fundraiser, charity event, or other special occasions. Generally speaking, gala etiquette calls for an evening dress, sleek heels, small clutch bag, and statement jewelry. In addition to following the dress code though, it's just as important to feel comfortable in whatever you chose to wear. So, what to expect at a charity gala? There are so many wonderful charities that host a gala dinner or ball throughout the year to raise funds for those in need. In most cases, gala events will demand a semi-formal or black-tie dress code. If you have never been to a charity gala before, you can expect to enjoy champagne, dinner, dancing, and a charity auction. So what are the elements of design? So the elements of design are the fundamental aspects of any visual design, which include shape, color, space, form, line, value, and texture. Graphic designers use the elements of design to create an image that can convey a certain mood, draw the eye in a certain direction, or evoke a number of feelings. While the elements of design form the basics of an image, designers also lean on the principles of design, which are set of practices of working with the elements of design that make a composition look pleasing to the eye. There are a variety of graphic design elements to consider when creating any visual work of art, whether it be for interior design, a logo, an advertisement, or web design. The basic elements of design are the following. First, color. Color helps establish a mood for your composition. When light waves strike an object and reflect back to the optic nerve in a human's eye, the sensation they perceive is called color. Second is the line. Line refers to the way that 2 points in space are connected. Whether they are horizontal lines, diagonal lines, or vertical lines, lines can help direct the eye toward a certain point in your composition. Third, we have value. In design, value refers to the lightness or darkness of a color. The values of a color are often visualized in a gradient, which displays a series of variations on one hue, arranged from the lightest to the darkest. Artists can use the various values of color to create the illusion of mass and volume in their work. Next is space. Making proper use of space can help others use your design as you intended. White space or negative space is a space between or around the focal point of an image. Positive space is a space that your subject matter takes up in your composition. The spacing of your design is important because a layout that's too crowded can overwhelm the viewer's eye. Fifth is the shape. In its most basic form, a shape is a two-dimensional area that is surrounded by an outline. Graphic artists can use other elements including line, color, value, and shadow to give a shape the appearance of a three-dimensional shape. There are three types of shapes: organic shapes, which occur naturally in the world, geometric shapes, which are angular and mathematically consistent, and abstract shapes that represent things in nature but aren't perfectly representative. Next, we have the form. Form pertains to the way that a shape or physical configuration occupies space. Instead of creating form through a three-dimensional physical shape, designers create the appearance of form on a flat surface by using light, shadow, the appearance of an object's contours, negative space, and the surrounding objects around the subject matter. Last but not the least is the texture. Texture is one of the elements of design that is used to represent how an object appears or feels. Tactile texture is a physical sense of touch, whether it's rough, smooth, or weaved. Visual texture, on the other hand, refers to the imagined feel of the illustrated texture, which can create more visual interest and a heightened sensory experience. Okay, so what are the differences between the elements and principles of design? So the elements of design refer to the basic building blocks of any composition. The principles of design refer to how the elements are used, like the symmetrical and symmetrical balance, pattern, emphasis, movement, and proportion. The principles of design are a set of cardinal rules and techniques for composing the various elements of design. Let's go to the principles of design. So these are the rules a designer must follow to create an effective and attractive composition. The fundamental principles of design are emphasis, balance and alignment, contrast, repetition, proportion, movement, and white space. Design differs from art in that it has to have a purpose. Visually, this functionality is interpreted by making sure an image has a center of attention, a point of focus. Maybe you're thinking, but wait, I thought design was all about creativity. Graphic design, like any discipline, adheres to strict rules that work beneath the surface to make the work stable and balanced. If the work is missing that balance, it will be weak and ineffective. Let's talk about the 7 most basic principles of design. So first, we have the emphasis. Like writing without an outline or building without a blueprint, if you start a composition without a clear idea of what you're trying to communicate, your design will not succeed. Next, we have the balance and alignment. So never forget that every element you place in a page has a weight. The weight can come from color, size, or texture. Just like you wouldn't put all your furniture in one corner of a room, you can crowd all your heavy elements in one area of your composition. So without balance, your audience will feel as if their eye is sliding off the page. So next, we have the contrast. Contrast is what people mean when they say a design pops. It comes away from the page and sticks in your memory. Contrast creates space and difference between elements in your design. Your background needs to be significantly different from the color of your elements so they work harmoniously together and are readable. Now let's have the repetition. So if you limit yourself to 2 strong typefaces or 3 strong colors, you will soon find you'll have to repeat some things. That's okay. It's often said that repetition unifies and strengthens a design. Fifth, we have the proportion. So proportion is the visual size and weight of elements in a composition and how they relate to each other. It often helps to approach your design in sections instead of as a whole. Next up is the movement. So movement is controlling the elements in a composition so that the eye is led to move from one to the next and the information is properly communicated to your audience. Another principle is the white space. So white space isn't sitting there doing nothing. It's creating hierarchy and organization. Our brains naturally associate ample white space around an element with importance and luxury. It's telling our eyes that objects in one region are grouped separately from objects elsewhere.